Greetings and salutations. It's your main man Solace. I want to do this quick video on how slavery truly began and how we was tricked out of wealth. Now, I'm going to give y'all some gold and silver facts because it's a deep thing. We truly have no clue on what real wealth is and what's truly important. Because right now we're running around chasing paper dollar bills. And that has no value. You can't do anything with it except buy things. And I know that makes sense to y'all, but let me break this down and then see if it does after. Now, first, around 15,000 BC to about 9,000 BC, obsidian and cowrie shells was pretty much what was used as money. But it wasn't used in a sense of how we have money now, where you would go somewhere with obsidian and cowrie shells and pay like money. No, it didn't work in that way. It was more or less used like tools. So obsidian glass was used as tools, spearheads, for cooking purposes. It was just used as tools for living and feeding yourself and things of this nature. So that's what it was used for. Now, it would be traded for something else. So let's say I had obsidian, but I ain't had no drinking cup. So I'm drinking water out of my goddamn hand. We eat dinner, everybody got their cup. I don't have a cup. So I may trade one of my obsidian spearheads for somebody that has a cup. So this is all that it was then. It was more or less a sharing thing. Now, around 9,000 BC to about 4,000 BC, livestock and grain was basically the money of those times. Now, the people were getting a little more civil at this time. So, livestock, that would be like goats, sheep, chickens, livestock. And grain, you know, that's food, like cereal, things like that. It's for making food. So basically, these type of things was traded. So if you needed clothes and you had grain and livestock, then you would basically purchase the clothes by trading off some of your grain or your livestock. But it's truly a deep thing, man, because this is when village life and so on to say, you can say, came into effect. Now, it's hard to do commerce or trade livestock and grain. You get what I'm saying? If you happen to be in a town and you see some clothes you want, now you got to try to arrange to have the livestock and the grain delivered, and it becomes a headache. Now, this is between 9,000 BC and 4,000 BC. Now, around 4,000 BC to, you can say, maybe 1 AD, shekels of gold and silver coins is what was used as money. And this basically replaced the livestock because it's easier to basically do your thing. But it's a deeper thing. See, you have to grasp. When you talking about building cities and having electricity. So when you're dealing with cities, now you're dealing with electricity and technology. So now this is where gold, silver, precious metals come into play. Because you can't have a civilized city, meaning electricity, technology. You can't have any of the technology and electricity that we have without gold, silver, and other precious metals. So there lies the true wealth to better life, easier living is within the gold, silver, precious metals. Because you even use these things when you're dealing with harvesting. Pretty much anything you dealing with, the precious metals have some type of involvement. So that is the true wealth. Cooking, anything you doing, your stove, all of this stuff has to do with the precious metals in their raw form. So you have to understand that. Now, that's between 4000 and 1 AD. Now, around 1 AD to about 1800 AD, pretty much went from the beginning back to the gold point. So you basically went from obsidian to livestock and grain back to gold. So by the time you get to 1800 AD, now you're back to gold. Now we know between 1 AD and 1 BC, blank in time. I'll deal on that another day. Now, so that's how you go backwards. So now 1800, they back to silver and gold. And this is where it becomes tricky. Because in 1800, they come to the realization of the precious metals and the understandings of them. So now livestock and all of these things is not held in high regards as the precious metals. Because if you have understanding and you understand, there is nothing truly better than that. In a sense of divine living. So, you had gold shekels and coins around 1800s. Then this got replaced by the silver and gold certificate dollars that I was telling y'all about. But it was still good because those represented the gold. So if you had 100 pounds of gold, then you just had a certain amount of gold certificates representing what you had. So when you went to pay for something, the person could take your gold certificate to the bank and get the gold. The same way with an ATM card. So the gold certificate was basically just an ATM card. Now, this is where it gets deep because the Federal Reserve note, which is what we all have now, replaced the gold certificate. So now, this is where the trick came in. Because everybody who had gold could no longer go to the store and buy clothes or whatever they may have wanted, go to the farm and buy food, because they don't accept gold. They only accept the Federal Reserve note. And this is where it gets deep, because now you have to make a choice. Do I get rid of my gold for the Federal Reserve note? The Federal Reserve note is truly nothing. The gold is something, but I can't truly really do anything with the gold unless I understand energy and all of these type of things and technology, and the average civilian doesn't. So now what you do is trade in your gold for the Federal Reserve notes, meaning whatever you had in the bank that was gold, 100 pounds of gold, now you was given 100 pounds worth of Federal Reserve notes. And the bank took your gold and they kept it. And now all you had in the bank was the Federal Reserve notes. And this is how people got tricked out of the wealth. Because now we hold all reference in the dollar bill, the paper. And the paper once represented the gold that you have. Now the paper only represents the paper that you have. And the paper is nothing. So when you really look into it, what do you truly have? Nothing. Not only do you not have nothing, but you don't even have the knowledge to know what gold, silver, and the precious metals truly are. So not only did they strip that away from you, but they also stripped the knowledge of it away from you. So you figure back then when they replaced that shit with the Federal Reserve notes, I'm sure it was an uproar. People was like, you must be fucking crazy. Why would I give up my gold for paper? Then as you go to try to buy things and you like, damn, they not taking my gold. They taking the paper only. Now, this is how you get tricked out of true wealth. And it's happening again because now they're taking away the dollar bills and everything is on cards and barcode scans type of things. So now they're completely eradicating any sense of money or anything, and it's just all technology. Meaning, numbers made up that you have $10 million in the bank, but you have nothing physical to show of it, except your thumbprint, a card that says you have that in the bank. And it's a truly deep thing. Because now when you go to the bank to retrieve your money, it's useless because stores don't accept cash money. They only accept the card or the thumbprint or the barcode scan. So now, this is just like olden times because these times are going to come where dollar bills are not accepted. So now you got $1 million in the bank that you can't use. You can't go anywhere and use the paper dollar bills. Just like Metro cards. Remember tokens? Now they got Metro cards. If you got $20 worth of old school tokens right now, they're useless. Mind you, those tokens are worth more than the card. The card is nothing. Those tokens, you probably could get a little charge out of them. They got some type of little bit of copper and precious metals within them. So it's a deep thing. All the precious metals and all the things of any reverence is being taken and kept. And people are giving nothingness in return. And being tricked into thinking it's something because you can actually take this nothingness and buy more nothingness. Meaning you could take the dollar bills and go buy a house. But you have no understanding on what it is to make a house. You have no understanding that the house is worth nothing. Just because you have a house and a lot of money in the bank, you have to understand you have no wealth because none of that is nothing. They can automatically tomorrow say money is obliviated. Everything is just on a card now for everyone. No establishments except money. Just the card. So now all the rich people, they don't see a difference. They like, ain't no big deal. I still got 10 million. They gave me this card. The card say I got 10 million, so I'm good to go. Mind you, the $10 million that you had in the bank, the cash, the physical evidence of it, you'll never see that again. Why? And you'll never look to see it again. Why? Because you can't use it. You can't spend it nowhere. The only way you can spend it is with the card. So you're using the card now and it's like, well, I still got the money. I don't see no difference in how they robbing me of my money. They not robbing me of my money because I still got it on the card. But just imagine if that paper dollar money that you had in the bank was gold and they gave you the card and now you had no use for that gold because you don't have true understanding of what the gold is. So you're like, fuck it, give me the card. I can still go buy everything I want. It's the same. And it's not, because that card is nothing and that gold is actually something. Deep, ain't it? And it's going to keep happening. Money tricks you from the life. It takes you from the life. It started with the gold and the silver. This is how slavery became about. When understanding of gold and silver and what true wealth was, and this is how men began to rule over other men, and this is how slavery came into effect. An economy is the system that a slave lives in. So we must truly grasp this and understand. If you ain't got no gold or silver, then you might want to really ask yourself, how rich are you? And it's a deep thing, because most people would see raw gold right now, or raw silver, and would have no clue that it was that. They would think it was just a dusty, rusty rock. Literally, that's what gold looked like, dusty, rusty rock. And you would walk right by it and say, that ain't fucking gold. Mind you, the gold that you wear, it's not even real gold. It has silver and other things in it to make it hard, shiny, so on, etc. Now you pawn it and they'll give you paper money for it. Why? Because the paper money is nothing. I'm glad to give you paper for that gold if you stupid enough to. And this is how deep it is. So we just got to grasp, man, that we have no understanding on anything. No one. This is why we all reach for economy and teachers teach economy and so on and so forth. Not realizing that this is how slavery came about. Slave, economy, getting money, all goes with slavery. You can't have one without the other. If you ever hear niggas say economy or I'm getting money, then you have status. And if you have status, you have slavery. Simple. Whether a man is being physically beaten to death, or if a man is being physically or mentally or socially put into a place where he has no options, it's slavery. Because I can beat you to death to force you to do something, which is slavery, or I can simply starve you out. and force you to do whatever I say or don't eat. Don't live good or do what I say, because I got all things. So we got to truly understand what slavery is. We are living in the current state of that second kind of slavery, where y'all gonna go along with this shit or starve. Simple. Because all true knowledge is held. Y'all don't know how to sow and reap. Y'all don't know how to build homes. Y'all don't know how to do this and that. Only certain people know how to do these things. And this is the beauty of the system. And this is how knowledge is kept. And this is how all true wealth is kept. In the knowledge of it. And this is why we kill one another for paper. But you can't build a house with paper. And you can't build any technology or any type of electrical lights, anything with paper. So it's truly a deep thing. We must get understanding. It's your main man Solace. I'm about to do what I do. I hope y'all do what y'all do. Try to find some peace. Enjoy this life. Surround yourself around those who are pulling for the peace instead of those who are pulling for the suffering. Because we all know how this goes. I'm about that life. I'm with that action. That's chaos. And you ain't gonna find no peace in a motherfucker who speaks in that manner. See, I'm about that life and I'm about that action. But that ain't to be spoken on. You do what you gotta do. If you about the peace, then you live within the peace and you speak the peace. And then when you have to do whatever you have to do, then you do that and you get back to the peace. Others live in the reverse. It's always boring for them because they have no life. But that's their peace, but they don't want it. So they speak in the manner of they're about that life and about that action, and they're looking for club life and this and that. For what? Nothingness. That's the point. Motherfucker got the peace, but is reaching for the chaos, and this is why he's speaking it into existence. Shemaine Man Solace, grass knowledge.